Okay, our next topic that is fairly simple, format painters. How do we use a format painting and why it is needed? It is a very useful tool, convenient tool. Let's say I want to apply the format of these cells, name, marks, and grade. It has some specific uh, background color and white font color. If I want to use the same format in these cells, so I select these cells, click on this format painter, and now wherever I want to apply these, I just click on them. So you see I have copied this format. Now if I type something, it has the same white text color. Similarly, these cells have borders around them. If I want to copy their format, so I'll select all these cells, click on format painter, and now I click. So you see these cells have the same border color. So these specific cells have some unique shading and colors. Select them, click, and apply it to these cells. And you can see the size of the selection is copied to the new location. Control Z will take us back to the same place. So format painter, whatever formatting you had applied, let's say that we wrote something in very big font,
Sir,
G. In this section we are going to show how data entry in one sheet and results on another sheet are possible. Specifically, this type of data entry is needed where you want to separate the data entry sheet from the calculated variables. For example, if we have financial statements data and we enter the data on this specific sheet, then we have another sheet that will calculate some financial ratios based on the inputs from the first sheet. And this is usually needed first to protect the formulas from deletion, because if the data entry operator makes some mistake and incorrectly deletes a cell, so that will disturb our calculation. It also keep the working of the data entry clear, and it also helps us in organizing the data in groups of inputs and outputs. So I have set up two worksheets here. One that is data entry, and I have 2017, 18, and 19, and 20. We'll put some dummy data in here, and as we enter the data, we should be able to find the ratios here. So usually, if you remember from your financial management class, gross profit margin is equal to that is gross profit, so whatever value we have here, divided by sales. So in this cell we don't see any result yet, but you must have noticed the trick that I played. I entered equal sign here, and then I moved to the other sheet, and from there I selected the cells. So since I am calculating this ratio for 2018, so I am clicking on gross profit here, 2018, divided by sales of 2018. So again we get the same error message, that is division by 0. As we enter the data, this error message should go away. So let's say we have a sale of 100,000 and we have cost of goods sold of 770,000. So the gross profit should be automatically calculated as the sales minus gross profit, CGS. So that is 30,000. Now we enter the data here, but the ratio should have been calculated on the other sheet. So you see it is automatically calculated and showing 30%. It is better to convert this to percentage format. So in the number box, if we select percentage, so it is shown as 30%. Similarly, as soon as I enter data for 2018, so let's make it 115,000 and make it 85,000. So the gross profit should be equal to sales minus cost of goods sold. So it is again 30,000. So the gross profit margin automatically calculated, and I can use a format painter to pick the percentage sign from this cell to this. So click on this cell and format painter and click on this, and I don't have to type the formula for other cells because the 2019 and 2020 are placed in corresponding columns, so I can drag this formula to other cells as well. Again we'll get the division error, but as soon as we enter the data for here, so let's say 1,025,000 and make it 90,000, and I can also drag this formula to other cells. So that is 35,000, 150,000, and let's make it 110,000. And we have the calculated values available in the gross profit margin. Similarly, net profit margin is equal to, if you go to the other sheet, that is net income divided by sales. So we need to do this in the first cell, and then we can drag this to the rest of the cells. Since we don't have the net income figure, so all values are 0, but I can apply the formatting to all these cells, so they are shown as percentage 0. Sale growth is equal to, in the first year we are not able to find sales growth, in the second year we will be able to. So that is current sales divided by previous sales. So current sales 2018 minus previous sales divided by previous sales. So that is 15%, and let's move it and apply the percentage formatting to these cells. So 15% growth, 8% and 20% growth. Return on asset is equal to net income divided by total assets. We don't have the total asset value as of now, and we can play a trick also here. So I'll put some values. I'll use an if condition, that if the asset value is not available, show this cell as empty, otherwise show the results. So if assets cell is equal to double quotes means empty, comma, the result should be double quote, comma, otherwise show this formula. So this is what I typed, and this is how data from the second sheet looks like. Since B13 is from data entry sheet, so Excel will put data entry exclamation sign and B13, which means that B13 cell belongs from another sheet which has a name of data entry. So if data entry B13 is empty, this is the notation for empty cell, double quotes, double quotes. So if it is empty, show empty, means do not show the divide by 0 error. If the cell is empty, show this empty. Otherwise, apply this formula. Apply which is B12 divided by B13. So that is sales divided by assets. This is ROA. Yes. Okay. So see what the effect of if function is that we don't see the specific error message. Now if I apply the same to other cells, so we don't have any error, we don't have any result. But as soon as we add value, we should be able to see the results here. So let's put some operating expenses. Let's say our operating expenses are 9,000. Earning before profit should be equal to gross profit minus operating expenses. So that will be true for all other sales. This formula will be true for all other sales. And in this year, let's say operating expenses were 10,000, 11,000, 11,500. Okay, interest expense, let's put some hypothetical value, 4,000, 4,500, 5,500, and let's say 5,800. EBT is equal to EBIT minus interest. And dragging also means that you can copy a cell and paste it. So dragging is the same like copy paste. So if I drag this cell over here or copy paste, it is the same thing. Tax, let's say the tax is 35% of the EBT. So this value multiplied by 0.35, so this should be copy, and we apply this to other sales. So this will be our interest. Net income is equal to earning before tax minus tax, and let's drag it or copy, and let's put some hypothetical value for sales. So let's say our sales are assets are 90,000, 100,000, 100,000, 115,000, and 120,000. So as soon as we enter the data, our ratios are already there. And asset turnover is equal to sales divided by assets. So usually asset turnover is the it is shown in time, so we don't have to put percentage. And let's decrease the decimal points to 2. That is good. Okay, why we have so much high asset turnover? Okay, so 1 0 was missing. Okay, now one more thing, this was some sort of automation. Now as soon as someone enters or modify data, they don't have to change the formulas, they will be automatically adjusted. One more thing, if we wanted to protect these cells from being edited, how we can do that? So these are some of the steps that we need to take. First of all cells by default are locked. but the lock is not enabled. Means all cells are locked, but the lock is not enabled. As soon as we enable the lock, we cannot protect this sheet. So if I go to review and protect the sheet, and I OK, now the lock is enabled. This sheet cannot be modified. Okay, now I unprotect it again. What we are going to do is to only lock these cells and unlock all other cells, and then protect the sheet. I repeat, we lock only these cells and unlock all other cells, so that nobody can change it. So these are the steps. Select this whole sheet, right click, and then properties, format cells. In the format cells, there is an option protection, and you see by default all cells are locked. So I am removing this lock. So by removing the lock, now all cells are unprotected. In the second step, I will protect these cells. So I am selecting them, right click, format cells, locked, and now I enable the lock. So these cells can be now changed, but no one can change them. People can see them, but they cannot change them. Now, sir, difference between protection and lock cell. Protection is the category under which lock cells are available. So protection and lock means the same thing. So this was the data automation part. Now what is the usefulness of this? You give this specific worksheet to somebody to enter data, and the ratios will be automatically calculated. Second, over here, anybody can easily remove the lock and change them. If you do not want that to happen, you just go to protect and give some password over here. So I'm giving a password 1 2 3 1 2 3, and now if someone wants to unlock it, it will ask for a password. So unless you have a password, you cannot unlock it. Similarly, currently they are selectable. You can even make them unselectable. So protect, and remove this select lock cell. Remove it. Now even you cannot click on these. You cannot even click on these. So there is no selection possible. I am clicking and it is not doing anything. This is the request that how we can link Excel and Word. So this is a quick tutorial on how to do that. So first of all, we go to insert and then go to object, and in the object You can choose whatever object you want, like Excel worksheet, Excel chart, or Microsoft worksheet. So let's go for Microsoft worksheet. Okay, so here we have a Microsoft worksheet, and let's put some data into that. Copy, paste. In this worksheet you can do all the things that you do in Microsoft worksheet. Okay, and it depends upon the size of the box, how larger or how smaller you want. It will remain the same. Okay, so now go back to, so it is something like this, and I haven't tested whether you can link it to other sheets as well as or not, but you can play around with this and explore more possibilities. But the most common one is this one, that you can now have all the functionalities of Excel, but it is shown like this. Okay, so we are now moving towards graphs and charts. We start with very basics. First of all, remember that anything in the first column of your data will go to the x-axis. So I put an x-axis over here. Anything in the first column will go to the x-axis. Anything on the second column will go to the y-axis. So this is really important. However, if your x-axis has numeric data, if it is numeric data, then it will also go to the y-axis. So let me show some examples. This is a data of 3 sectors: banking, manufacturing, and others, and we have percentage shares of them. So we select all this data together, and since I want the labels to be on the x-axis and the share on the y-axis, so I put the data labels on in the A column. So select this whole data along with the column titles, go to insert, and we are going to make a bar chart. So insert column, this is also called column or bar, and we have a chart that is created by default. So look at how how Excel has picked up the values. The title of the value column has been put to the chart title. Similarly, the labels of each data is represented on the x-axis: banking, manufacturing, and others, and the values are represented on the y-axis. Once the chart is ready, you will see several additional menus on the over there. So one is chart design, one is format. These menus are shown only when the chart is active. So when I click outside, these menus are hidden. So if I click again, those menus are shown again. So let's say I want to put something over here as well. I want to show percentages on the x-axis. So how do we do that? That is possible in the chart design, and in the quick layouts there are several layouts. One of the layout is this, that can accommodate x-axis title. So this title can now be selected, and you can type anything over here. If you do not want this share label, you can select it and delete it. So that is the simple bar chart. Now let's use how we can add more columns to it. That is multi-dimensional bar chart. In this example, we have GDP data for two countries. First column is years, second Bangladesh and Pakistan. Now the problem that I talked about, that if the first column has numeric values, then the chart has to be made in two steps. If I select all these, it will consider the first one as a value, not as a label. So if I go to columns, you see the GDP and Pakistan and Bangladesh are not even visible on the chart because their values are so small compared to 2001 and 2 that they are not visible at all. So the chart is not correct. We have to delete it and we have to make it in two steps. So how do we do that? So in the first step, we select the value columns, not the first column. So we leave it out. We select just the two columns and we go to insert and then select the bar or column chart. Now they are correctly shown, GDP of Pakistan and GDP of Bangladesh. However, over here, Excel has assigned default values of 1, 2, 3, 4, which is not meaningful. This should be 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. So how do we correct this problem? Right click on the chart and select data option. So select data, this is the select data. Click on this and horizontal or axis labels are by default 1, 2, 3. We will edit these. We are not going to change the legend entries or series values. We are going to change only the horizontal or categories label. So edit and now select 2001, 2, 3, 4 and OK. So now our chart is ready. It is good. 2001, 2, 3, 4. How did we do that? I am deleting it. We selected the first two columns. Go to insert, charts and columns. So they are ready. What problems do we need to fix? The axis labels. So right click. Where do we go from here? Select data and edit these 1, 2, 3 labels. How do we edit them? From this blinking window, I go to the corresponding 2001, 2, 3 year data and we are good. So this is how, if I want to change the chart title, so I can double click on that and I type so GDP over the years, and you can very easily take this chart to anywhere. So copy it and so you can paste it in MS Word for your research report or for anything else. So it is very much possible. Okay, so this was about bar chart. Bar chart is usually used for quick comparison or visual comparison of something with or two different variables or a single variable. We can also use pie chart for percentages or for shares. let's say what is the percentage of this in this. So that is usually done through pie chart. So select everything and insert and go to pie. So the colors show that the significant portion goes to the other sectors. Or is it banking? Yes, banking. Banking has the largest sector. Manufacturing is the second largest, and others have a very small percentage. Similarly, you can change the design or format or whatever other aspect of the chart you want to change it. So it is very easy. But the key is that your labels are in the first column and values are in the second column. So nothing special about pie chart. We have another chart that is called line chart. Line chart is usually for showing a relationship over time. So again, the same problem, we have numeric values in the first column. So select both of these, insert and click on line. Again, the x-axis label problem is there, 1, 2, 3. So you can easily correct this, right click, select data, edit, and 2001, 2, 3, 4. So this is line chart. It shows that the GDP of Bangladesh has over the period of time declined, and GDP of Pakistan over the period of time has increased. So line chart is used for what purpose? Usually for showing trends over period of time. And one last chart is the relationship chart. So if you want to establish a relationship between two variables, for example, price and quantity demanded, remember the first column is counted as X and the second column is counted as Y. So select both the columns, go to insert and use scatter. Where is scatter? This is scatter. So scatter chart shows a relationship between two variables, and to be more, go to quick layout and add some labels to it. So over here, X is the quantity, X is the price, and this one is the quantity. So that's all about charts and graphs.